Mr. Paradise. Mr. Paradise.
Good morning, Carmel. I'm Arani Parikh.
And I'm Ilana Rivera for live morning announcements. Today is Tuesday, April 28th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may now be seated.
Good morning, Greyhounds. You had a great weekend as we start off the new week. You may have noticed the flags at half-staff this week. That is in honor of Pope Francis, who was laid to rest on Saturday.
With the passing of the Pope, the Papal Conclave will begin on May 7th. The Papal Conclave is a secret election of the Pope occurring behind closed doors in the Sistine Chapel, lasting between 15 to 20 days.
Cardinals now have a little over a week to discuss, campaign, and study all potential contenders.
After discussion, the 135 eligible cardinals will vote for the next Pope.
A two-thirds majority is needed to elect a new pope, and cardinals are not allowed to leave the conclave until a successor is named.
Although technically any Catholic male can become pope, it is almost always cardinals that get that opportunity.
Speaking of opportunities, CHTV's own Andrew Hutzing had the opportunity to speak with former Vice President Mike Pence right here in CHTV studios.
I'm Andrew Hutzing here with CHTV. I had the opportunity to sit down with former Vice President Mike Pence to talk about his advice for high schoolers and people of all ages. Let's see what he had to say. Looking back at your time as Vice President, what's one leadership lesson you learned that you think young people today should carry with them into any career or calling?
Well, I'm a big believer. Look, I was governor of Indiana, which is you're the chief executive of the state. I was a legislator, which is served in Congress, and that's the kind of leadership where you have to work with lots of different people. But being the second in charge in an administration in Washington, D.C., I tried to apply principles of leadership that reflected humility and what I call orientation to authority. You know, for most of us, and you included, Andrew, when you finish up college and go out in the world, you're not going to start your career in the top position. And so learning how to serve, to bring a servant's attitude, to bring humility, to reflect and respect the authority that's above you is the way you build relationships. And I hope as people look at our record and our career during the Trump-Pence administration, they can see the evidence of a good team. The president and I had a great working relationship for 4.5 years. It didn't end the way I wanted it to, but I'm incredibly proud of that record. And I think it was greatly facilitated by me putting into practice those timeless principles of servant leadership that made that relationship work.
Yeah.
Be sure to head to our YouTube for the rest of their discussion. It'll be up later this morning. Thanks to Andrew and especially Mr. Pence for that chat.
Moving on, the Indiana Pacers recently took a big win versus the Bucks to take a 3-1 lead in the first round of the NBA playoffs.
Not to mention the NFL draft just wrapped up.
And CHS sports are in full swing. Let's get an update on both from Carter and Kate.
What's up, Greyhounds? Carter Hadley here for a sports update this morning. Starting off with some exciting Indy news, the Pacers took a big Game 4 victory Sunday night in Milwaukee. Early in the first half, Bucks star guard Damian Lillard suffered an Achilles injury. After this, it was a field day for the Pacers as they were able to capture the win with a final score of 129-103. Led by a big performance from Miles Turner, who post-game says he's excited to come home and expects it to be a gold out. And that's what it'll be tonight as the Pacers return to Gainbridge Fieldhouse looking to close out the series in 5 games. And if they do so, we'll head to Cleveland to face the number 1 seeded Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Next up within the school, the girls and boys track and field teams will head to Zionsville for a meet today. Later in the week, there's a JV invite for the girls on Thursday and a Max Truex Invitational for the boys on Friday. Continuing with track and field, Carmel's Unified team won their first meet this past Saturday. They have 4 meets remaining this season, and their next will be tomorrow night at home. Show up to support the Unified track and field team. Heading over the course, the boys golf team plays a match tonight against Noblesville, and tomorrow night have an invitational with Guerin, Noblesville, and Westfield. And finally, the girls lacrosse team took a big win last night versus Chittard with a score of 14-8. They'll continue this hot streak tomorrow night at home versus Westfield. Make sure to come back on Thursday for updates on softball, baseball, girls tennis, and boys lacrosse. That's all I got for you now. Let's head over to Kate. Go Pacers.
Good morning, Greyhounds. I'm Kate Ronco here with a special NFL Draft recap. The NFL Draft took place this past weekend where the 32 teams selected the NFL's next young stars. The Colts had 8 picks in this year's draft, and the first pick they selected tight end Tyler Warren from Penn State. Warren is an exciting player who will hopefully bring some much-needed help to the Colts offense. Additionally, the Colts added some much-needed defensive depth in the 2nd and 6th rounds with JT Tuimoloau from Ohio State and Tim Smith from Alabama. The most surprising news of the draft was Shedeur Sanders falling to the Cleveland Browns in the 5th round. That's all for now, Carmel. Let's send it back to the news desk.
Thanks, Kate. Elections for student body president and speaker of the House ended on Friday.
Congratulations to Claire Wolfgang for winning Speaker of the House and Caitlin Ho for winning student body president.
This week, students can vote in the class officer and senator elections.
Check out Senate's Instagram bio for more information. Spring is in the air. Can you believe it's going to be nearly 80 degrees today?
Before studio announcements, let's take a look at some local parks you can check out as the weather continues to heat up.
To celebrate spring and welcome the warm weather, I wanted to visit and review some of the parks here in Carmel. First, we have Flowing Well Park, known as just the Flowing Well to many. Located just off of 116th and Gray Road on the east side of Carmel, this park is known for its signature well. This park offers fishing spots, walking trails, a shelter, and of course, the well. The well itself is built off of a natural spring located underground and provides water to anyone who wants it. This park is very informational, with signs and infographics located along the trails. Secondly is Hazel Landing Park, located on Hazeldale Parkway in 106. This park is currently under construction, with a bridge being built across the White River that will connect Hazel Landing Park to Heritage Park and Fishers. While walking underneath the bridge, this happened. Oh my god! A 6-foot rat snake was resting completely motionless right in front of me. I had no idea it was there until I almost stepped on it. Moving on, the park is 41 acres and includes a frisbee golf course. There are also picnic tables near the parking lot with a spot nearby to load your fishing boat or kayak into the water. Finally, we have Founders Park. Founders Park sits at the corner of 116th Street and Hazeldale Parkway. Well known for its recreational facilities such as a playground and soccer fields, its hiking trails are often overlooked. Just on the other side of the parking lot exists a large pond, which used to be a gravel pit. There are multiple gravel and concrete paths that run along the pond, with some breaching the shoreline creating spots for fishing. Each of these parks have their own benefits. The Flowing Well is the best spot for a relaxing and informational walk along the creek. Hazel Landing is huge and has many different opportunities for outdoor activities. And Founders Park is a great place for recreational activities or just taking a stroll along the pond.
Thanks for the insight. I'll be checking out some of these places in the near future.
For now, let's head to Arizona for some shocking footage.
Footage reveals a speedboat doing a complete flip airborne in Lake Havasu City.
The speedboat went nearly 30 feet in the air and made a complete flip while racing at about 200 miles per hour.
The two racers inside the boat's cabin survived. They wore harnesses and helmets and had no major injuries.
The crash took place on a 3/4 mile course at an annual speedboat race. The boat still managed to cross the finish line and win the contest by registering a top speed of 200.1 miles per hour.
Now, before daily announcements, we'd like to wish happy birthday to everyone listed on the screen below.
Happy birthday, everyone. Now on the daily announcements. Seniors, voting for prom king and queen will be held on the line today through Friday, May 2nd. QR codes with the link to the election will be displayed outside the activities office and in cafeterias.
Hey juniors and seniors, don't forget to buy your prom tickets on GoFan for the May 3rd Enchanted Evening. At the end of the evening, at 11 p.m., let's keep the celebration rolling at the after prom party from 11 to 1:30 a.m. at Woodland Bowling. The event and bowling are free and included with your prom tickets. There will be pizza, candy, and even prizes.
The JSU will have their Passover Seder in the community room Wednesday, April 30th from 4:05 to 5:15. Food will be provided.
Do you like photography? Are you a photo lover? If so, come to the Photography Club meeting after school in C147 this Wednesday, April 30th from 4:15 to 5:15 for our final meeting of the year.
Join Morgan's message on Thursday, May 1st at 8:15 a.m. in H111 for our end-of-year party. There will be food, drinks, activities, and more. See your Instagram for more information.
This Thursday, May 1st, the Future Lawyers of America Club is having immigration lawyer Gomo Sahi come in as a guest speaker in Mr. Swartzlander's room, B178, until 5:30.
More announcements can be found by scanning the QR code. Well, that's all we have for you guys today, Greyhounds.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at CHTV Carmel Television and follow our Instagram at Carmel TV so you can stay updated with all the latest news. Signing off, this has been Arini Parikh
and Iwan Oliveira for your live morning announcements. See you next time. And
have a terrific Tuesday, Greyhounds.
Mr. Paradise.